You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken Tech for your ears.
Welcome along. Keeping up with cybersecurity feels like drinking from a fire hose sometimes, doesn't it? There's just so much noise. So today we're going to try and cut through some of that. We'll look at a few recent, pretty surprising security incidents, pull out the key takeaways, and hopefully help you make a bit more sense of it all.
Absolutely. And what's really striking right now is just the sheer range of targets we're seeing and the methods, too. I mean, it stretches from universities to critical government systems, even, believe it or not, online games. The threats are constantly shifting. It really challenges, what we think secure even means anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Let's maybe dig into some of the big data thefts first. That Columbia University incident, for example, a hacker, apparently politically motivated, got in and grabbed something like 460 gigabytes of data. That's huge.
It really is. And we're not talking about trivial stuff here. So security numbers, students, faculty, staff, applicants, even their families, plus university IDs, citizenship status, admissions decisions, really sensitive information.
And the hacker didn't just sit on it, right? They apparently used it to, allege discriminatory admission practices and kind of incredibly locked students out of email and coursework systems, too.
Right, which really underlines how any kind of personal data can become a high-value target depending on the attacker's motives. It creates completely new attack surfaces we might not have considered.
Yep.
And it's not just universities. Look at the EU border system, the Schengen information system, too.
Oh, yeah, I saw that report. Vulnerabilities found there.
Thousands. An audit uncovered tons of critical issues, things like way too many accounts with admin rights, unauthorized external access. Now, they didn't confirm an actual breach happened, but the report basically warned of, catastrophic potential. That system tracks illegal migrants, suspected criminals.
Okay, so extremely sensitive, and then there was the CMS Medicare issue, too.
Over 100,000 unauthorized Medicare.gov accounts were created. They used info gathered from external sources, exposing user data like beneficiary IDs, birth dates, zip codes. You see the pattern. Highly sensitive data, really diverse targets, education, government infrastructure, healthcare, and the potential impact is just immense.
So beyond what the data itself, let's talk about the how. Some of these attack methods seem quite sophisticated, but maybe also easier to get hold of now.
That's a really key point. Accessibility is changing the game. Take that Brazil banking hack. The police arrested an employee, right? Literally sold their credentials. And that enables an attack diverting something like $100 million from their PIX payment system in one night.
Wow, an insider threat leading to that scale of loss.
Exactly. And it connects to this rise we're seeing in things like phishing as a service, identity-based attacks. They've jumped 156%, partly thanks to these advanced phishing kits like Tycoon 2FA.
Phishing as a service, so you can just run these tools.
Pretty much. For maybe $200, $300 a month, you can lease these sophisticated platforms. It just democratizes high-level attacks. These platforms now account for almost 60% of security investigations. It's a huge chunk.
That really does shift the landscape. And it's not always about big money or mass data theft either. Sometimes the impact's very personal, very direct, like that Call of Duty incident, the World War II PC game.
Oh, right. They took the servers offline because hackers were reportedly getting RCE remote code execution on players' computers.
During a match, so someone could basically run code on your machine while you're playing.
Yep, take full control. That's way beyond just stealing data. It's a direct intrusion. And what this all points to, the broader implication, is that security isn't just about patching the known bugs anymore.
Right, it's more complex.
Much more. You have to understand these complex bypasses, these configuration issues that often get overlooked. For instance, in AWS, certain API calls, like put events for EventBridge, they aren't logged in CloudTrail by default.
Ah, okay, so that creates a blind spot.
A potentially significant one. It makes certain kinds of cross-account attacks really hard to spot. And just being compliant with regulations, like GDPR, that's not a silver bullet either. That Uffizi GPS leak went on for 5 years, even though they claimed GDPR compliance.
So compliance isn't security?
Not necessarily, no. It highlights how critical the human element and secure configurations are. Think about AWS IAM roles. Anywhere. The default policy allows any role to be assumed by any request signed by any trust anchor in that region unless you add specific conditions. that's wide open by default.
So the vulnerability isn't always a clever hack. Sometimes it's just the settings. Or someone making a mistake, or worse.
Exactly. It could be a malicious insider, like in the Brazil case, or just configuration oversights that turn powerful tools into, well, unintentional weaknesses. The human factor is huge.
Okay, so wrapping this up. What this really tells us, what you should take away, is that we're dealing with a security situation that's constantly changing. You've got sophisticated tools becoming easier to get, while the same old human vulnerabilities, insiders, mistakes, poor configurations are still being exploited just as much, if not more.
It really does. And I guess that leaves us with a challenging question. For you listening, for organizations everywhere, how do we actually get ahead of this? How do we move from just reacting when a breach happens to proactively building real resilience against these threats that are, well, everywhere and getting easier to use?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Maybe next time you hear about a security incident, just pause and ask, was that mostly tech failing? Was it mostly people? Or, like we've seen in pretty much all these cases today, was it actually a messy combination of both? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.
Spoken Tech for your ears.